What's up, YouTube? Actually, I intended on doing this last night. Didn't work out that way, so Sunday morning, let's knock this Q&A out. First, Desi Strength, have you ever thought of working for abs, getting lean as fuck sooner or later at some point? Initially, I did, and then I was like, I like getting strong after I got invited to a powerlifting competition. In the not so distant future, I'm going to get leaner, but not with the intention of getting abs or anything. I just turned 30. I have a 1-year-old son. I want to be there. I want to be active with him as he grows. So soon the focus will be shifting from powerlifting to being healthy, which will require me to be at a lower body weight. Whether abs come or not is neither here nor there. If they come, fine. If they don't, fine. I just want to be healthy and in shape for my son. So, abs would be cool, I guess, but squatting 700 pounds is pretty cool. Even before guys with abs can squat 700 pounds, I know they're out there. I am not them. Dan Home Physique, when will you fight me in real life, faggot? Bruh. You've been to the States how many times now? You conveniently avoid Eastern Tennessee. You have my fucking address. Quit being a pussy. Rise workouts. Congrats on 1K subs. Question, how did you add almost 400 pounds to your squat in 2 years? That's kind of misleading. I'll explain why, but I'll explain because I have made some pretty good gains on my squat. And it'll kind of, the story will tell itself. The first basically 2 years I squatted, I'm closing in on 3 years now, I guess, training for powerlifting. The first 2 years I squatted were completely beltless, completely wrapless, I mean, as raw can get, I guess you would call it. That's what the hippie motherfuckers think, I guess. So yeah, I got up to 570 pounds without any belt or wraps or anything, and upon the addition of a belt, the first time I used a belt squatting, I squatted 575 very easily, which was a 5-pound PR at the time for squats. And then in competition, I ended up squatting 630 pounds. Granted, I was also 15 pounds heavier than when I did the 570 pound squat. So, 15 pounds of body weight in a belt, and I added 60 pounds to my squat right there. So, that, and then you throw in the wraps. My best squat with wraps is 750. Wasn't the competition depth. My 715, I hit the good depth with wraps on. So, I don't know. My 630 without wraps was very easy too, so it's hard to say. I'm getting somewhere between 50 and 100 pounds for my wraps, I guess. So, really what made it look like the gains really came on strong was the addition of the belt and wraps, and I think building that base without the support of equipment really helped me utilize getting the most out of that supportive equipment, and gaining the weight helped too. Plus, I've only been squatting 2.5, almost 3 years, so new gains as well. So you talk about, new gains, and adding on the addition of equipment, and adding body weight, and there's a perfect storm there for immense gains to come. So a combination of all of that, and my squat has really came a pretty long way. So thanks for the question. Val from Barbella Fitness, indica or sativa, smoke or vapor? Val, I would love to be able to answer that question. Part of the country I live in, we get what we can get. I've had things called this and that. I can't verify that they were what the name of them was. People down here have been known to go grab some flavoring chemicals and flavor their own Reggie Miller and call it, something else. So I don't know, and I've never ingested it in vapor form. I've eaten it and I've smoked it. For everyday activity, smoking is the way to go because you can still function pretty well. You know, if you ain't got shit to do, you know, eat it and just enjoy your day without nothing to worry about. Herbie Sherman, have you noticed if your creativity increases when you're high? When I used to get high, my musical songwriting ability seemed to shoot through the roof. How say you, Paleface? Well, my brown-skinned brother, in a nutshell, yes. Not that I'm an artistic, musically inclined person. I'm an idea guy. I get good ideas. I cannot translate them, be it through my hands, through my mouth, through the power of song, none of that stuff. My voice is horrible. But I will say the ideas tend to flow a lot better in an elevated state of mind. So I would wholeheartedly say yes, creativity does increase given the elevated state of mind. My man Brian Bonder, SCS Powerlifting, one serious, why do you like wrestling so much? I grew up on it. I grew up in the South, kind of when they were shifting from territories to when it was going more mainstream, and then on into the Attitude Era. I was, I guess, preteen during the Attitude Era, so I was, yeah, pretty deep into it. You know, it started when I was little. You know, kids nowadays, UFC wasn't a thing back then. You know, there was King of Pancrase, which was not televised or nothing. You didn't get to see fighting like you do now. Boxing still kind of ruled as far as that went. But there was no, like, you know, no holds barred fighting, basically. And, you know, wrestling was the closest thing, and as a young kid, you do think it's real. Then as you learn, you know, when you find out it's not real, you're kind of disappointed at first. But as I've gotten older, I've learned to appreciate what goes on behind the scenes, how they put it all together, the art form it takes to do so. I actually live in very close proximity to Ricky Morton. Those of y'all who don't know who Ricky Morton is, go educate yourself. I've gotten to hang out with him a few times on a personal level. So, you know, I appreciate the business and everything, and, you know, hopefully they'll get it turned around here shortly because the product's kind of stale lately. But we could probably talk about that for hours. I won't. One not serious. Is it hard to comb or brush the beard with T-Rex arms? Only asking because I'm thinking of maybe growing one out if Midget gives me permission, because I have T-Rex arms as well. That is not a problem with the T-Rex arms. So, tell you what, Midget, better give a motherfucking permission to grow a beard. Let him be a man. Don't hurt me. Angus Drummond, no question, but damn, that beard is sexy. Thank you, sir. Give you a beard shot. Tom Shufflebottom Fitness. What are your thoughts on the IPF and their elite nature? Elite nature is right, and it's mainly from the judging and the federation. The lifters, any of the ones I've talked to, all seem to be pretty humble people, and they don't really have the big ego about IPF Master Race like the internet groupies do. Actually, the last, I don't know, 8 weeks or so, leading up into early November, I was training with Charlie Connor, which he just won world championships for single ply in IPF over in Luxembourg. I guess that's how you pronounce that country. I think he won bench press. Maybe he won overall too. I'm not 100% sure. I know he did win the bench press for sure. But anyways, super humble guy. Let you pick his brain. Very, I mean, after every time you spot him and stuff, always says thank you and everything. The lifters are great. The elite nature comes from mainly the fanboys, in my opinion, and the judges. I don't know why. that they want squats to be 4 inches deeper than they have to be. Their rules are the same as every other federation's rules as far as, you know, what a legal squat is, on the depth of it. So in my opinion, you know, red lighting good squats is just as bad as white lighting bad squats. That's something I wish would change. However, on the other hand, what we tend to see is not always the whole story. The internet tends to skew things for the bad. You know, say there's an IPF meet, and, you know, like recently Jesse Norris, his squat that got red lighted that looked fantastic, that I know people that were there that said, you know, everybody thought it was a good squat except the judges. And we saw that squat and that bad call, you know, 1,000 times on the internet. What you didn't see is there was probably, you know, 1,000 other calls at that meet that were not controversial, that were good calls, and you didn't see them 1,000 times over because it wasn't Jesse Norris getting robbed. So our perception tends to skew the reality. The same way with SPF. I've been to 2 SPF meets, not competed, but I was there watching, helping some friends, and you look online and you think, oh my god, I'm gonna go do SPF because I can squat 3 inches high and go set a record, blah blah blah. Not necessarily the case. What's gonna happen, you know, you'll see the one call from a meet where somebody did get a high squat passed, and you're like, oh, stupid SPF, passing dumb squat, blah blah blah. What you didn't see is the other, you know, 200 squats that got called legit. For whatever reason, the judges, who are humans who make errors, missed the call. Which, you know, it is what it is. They shouldn't have made the call. It was a bad call, whatever. But you missed all the good calls. So instead of seeing, you know, lifter nobody over here who bombed out because he couldn't hit depth on squats at an SPF meet, you know, you don't see that. You just see the high squat getting passed, and you watch it 1,000 times and analyze it, and people talk about it and keeps popping up in your feed. But you don't see the other, you know, 200-300 squats that the judging was fine. So yeah, went off on a little tangent there. But as far as IPF and their elite nature, you know, it really does need to change. I'm cool. I'm glad that they're drug tested. We need drug tested feds out there. If, you know, you're on drugs, you probably shouldn't compete in that federation. And if you're cheating or trying to mask, you know, your drug use and still compete there, that's kind of douchey. But you know, it is what it is. Wesley Hammer, when are you going to get rid of that acne you cover with your beard? Bruh, y'all saw when I shaved, I was fucking smooth baby face Gomer Pyle looking motherfucker. Fun fact, having a beard's actually good for your skin. Faggot. Alex Wollstonecroft. Dad? Son? Jack lifts, what are your favorite accessory lifts for the big three and why? Front squats. You know, huge carryover to back squats and deadlifts. I think front squats are just a great overall strength building exercise, humbling exercise. Love front squats. Lat pull downs, chest supported rows, barbell rows, building that back, face pulls. I love face pulls. My traps ain't really nothing to write home about, but I've kind of been working on them lately, and face pulls have been helping a lot. You know, helping that deadlift lock out. So yeah, that, and then grip accessories, which is something I really need to start doing more of. Static holds, farmer's walks. I like using the fat grips on some of my cable pulls and stuff, because I've got these short little stubby ass fingers, and grip is my downfall on deadlift. So yeah, primal training. What would be worse if Dante, that's my son, becomes a crackhead or pulls sumo? I'm not raising no sumo pulling fucking cheater. Hope that answers your question. Jimbo, I was curious to know if you drink alcohol. Not very often. Between 2 and 4 times a year, probably. Not really a heavy drinker. Used to be, not so much anymore. Mr. Elite Entertainment. How do you find motivation whilst going through difficult times, such as getting injured and so forth? I've been fortunate with injuries. I haven't had any major injuries. The only injuries I've had thus far, I've been able to train other things. So when I couldn't deadlift and couldn't really squat too well, you know, I hammered the fuck out of my bench press. There was a time I injured my wrist and I couldn't bench press for a couple months, and I hammered the fuck out of squat and deadlifts. So, like I said, minor injuries, I try to find what I can do and just focus on it and fucking, you know, do the fuck out of it. As far as motivation, the last week I've kind of felt shitty, kind of blah, not really motivated. What's helped me the most is having training partners to hold me accountable. You know, and if I don't show up, or if I'm feeling lackluster and performance is suffering, they're there in my ear to call me a pussy and tell me what a faggot I am for not being able to do it. So that really helps. And if you're somebody who trains by yourself, I found a long time ago, like, uploading videos on YouTube, you know, gave me that accountability from other people even when I didn't have training partners in person. So, you know, that's my big thing for motivation, is accountability. Drunk One Kangaroo, who killed JFK? Who killed JFK? Illuminati, maybe? I don't know. Maybe it was John Cena. I think I'm gonna go with John Cena. He probably killed JFK. He never puts anybody over. Jonathan Roche. Jose Aldo versus Conor McGregor. Who do you think wins? The smart guy in me wants to say Aldo, but I'm going in here. I'm gonna say McGregor. I don't think he's going to fall victim to the Rousey effect, getting overconfident. Rousey, I believe, was really full of herself in her head. I think Conor McGregor puts on more for the camera to sell the fights. I think he's game planning hard for this one, and he knows, you know, this fight is very important. So I think he's going to come in with a good game plan. He's so rangy. He fights way taller than he is, longer than he is, angles. I think he's going to confuse the fuck out of Aldo, who's been used to being dominant, and just, you know, work his magic. And, you know, maybe we'll see him move up a weight class after this one. Mark McQueen, do you think aliens exist, and if so, would you hit it? Yes, I do believe they exist, and I would not be the first to hit it. If other people hit it and told me how amazing it was and didn't come down with some sort of the weird alien AIDS Ebola, maybe I'd give it a go. HM98 Harry, start lifts, current lifts, training age. I'm gonna go with just when I started powerlifting. I will say the first time I ever bench pressed, I was 12 years old. I bench pressed 145 pounds. I trained pretty much bench press only 4 to 5 years on and off from 12 years old to when I started powerlifting. So that's why you'll hear the big bench number when I start my powerlifting numbers. Starting powerlifting, squat 300, bench 425, deadlift 315. Current lifts, squat 630 without wraps, 750 with wraps, 535 bench press, and that is a paused bench press. And 640 pound deadlift. I've been training just now approaching 3 years. Drunk One Kangaroo, how to get bitches. Have a big wiener, have a big bank account, optimally both, treat them like dicks, or yeah, be a dick, yeah, treat them like shit. You'll get all the bitches, bruh. Harrison Clark, which steroid is more powerful, whey protein or creatine? I'm on Addy, bruh. Couldn't tell you. Drunk One Kangaroo, do you believe in God? Yes, but I'm not religious. Drunk One Kangaroo also asked, what's your opinion on the European refugee crisis? Since I just want people to be helped. That is all. People in need should be helped. The Mr. Mock. I recently had to shave my beard for an interview. Do you have any tips on keeping the itchiness down as I grow it back out? I don't. You know, it's just, I dealt with itchy. If there's any good advice out there, somebody help this man out. I just went with it. Drunk One Kangaroo. What are those? I'm actually barefoot right now in my house, so that's a solid question. Danny Taylor, any experiences with disc herniation yourself or people you know and how they recovered? Had a bad L5S1, couldn't walk a year back, still bothersome, switched to sumo with reasonable success but can't push myself like I used to. Should I still train for strength or take a hiatus for a couple to few years and focus on calisthenics, recovery, and overall health? I have no experience with that. I don't know a lot of people that are experienced with that. I would say if you have a Facebook, there's a myriad of Facebook groups on a myriad of different subjects, including lifting and injuries and whatnot. I would maybe go check resources there. As for the last part, training calisthenics, recovery, and overall health, that's probably a fantastic idea. I'm no expert, so take my opinion with a grain of salt, but that sounds like a very good idea. Andrew S. What steroids do you use to help grow your beard fast? It's my manly genetics, bruh. Philip Wilkerson, my man Phil, the fam. Have you ever smoked or drank heavily before a session? If so, was it awesome or a disaster? Smoking, yes, it was awesome. Drinking, yes, it was a disaster. Some good weed and a lot of caffeine, and I can train for hours. Alcohol was bad. Bad. This is the one time I'm going to acknowledge this little fucker on my channel, Damian McLeod Fitness. First, you know, calls me a liar, then asks me how does it feel to know that I am stronger than you. That's him speaking to me. He's the king of the bench press, and he benched like 295 for a double. So it just, you know, a troll. He makes ignorant comments trying to get views for his channel. He's got good edits. If you like watching good edited videos, go for it. He's a dumb fuck though. So yeah, there's that. I said your name on my channel, bruh. Congratulations. Piss Troop General. Is there any money in bodybuilding? You have to ask my lord that question, sir. You know this. I cannot answer that question. Buffy Muscle. Does your spouse work out also? Is she supportive of your hobby? Currently, she doesn't. We've got a 14-month-old son. He's a handful. She's a stay-at-home mom. We're fortunate. She doesn't have to work or anything. We're not going to put him in daycare or nothing like that. Right now, he's not really feeling the loud music and noises at the gym. When he does, she'll start coming training with me. She trained Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when we first got together, so she's not from. She is familiar with training, not necessarily with powerlifting, which I think we're going to try to get her down that route. As soon as he's good with the gym environment and stuff. Is she supportive of my hobby? She is overly supportive of my hobby. She gets just as amped, if not more so, for my meets than I do. If you look at any of my old meet videos, you know, she's behind the camera yelling and screaming. Funny story, meet I did last December, I think my second deadlift attempt was like 622. I got off the ground, but my back was fried and I knew it wasn't happening, so I just dropped it. Coming off the platform and going back to her, she's like, why'd you stop trying? You had that. And tried to explain her that, you know, it wasn't going to happen, and she just thought I was a bitch for not trying and let me know about it. So pretty funny. And last but not least, Crazy 8, best accessory exercises for the squat. The front squat, I believe, is superior for helping build the back squat. Also the safety squat bar. would be a close second, if not a tie for first. I've recently started doing some leg extensions, hamstring curls. We'll see how that works out. But yeah, there it is. Thank you everybody for the questions. I always enjoy doing these. Hope you guys enjoyed the answers. Peace.